you can relax. Colleen and Erik have a podcast. The world is scary and we're locked in our home, but now we have big microphones, so you can relax. That's the name of our podcast.
Hello, welcome to
hi.
Relax the Podcast.
The soothing sounds of Relax the Podcast, once again from our bedroom, in our bed.
We took a week off last week. We missed you guys.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy whatever.
Whatever you celebrate.
We are, there's a new development in our house. It's another human being. It is our daughter.
That is quite a development.
We are in our bed again this
Although
week.
she's not that developed.
She's doing great.
Yeah, she's doing okay.
If you are watching the podcast, you'll see a very messy bedroom, and me looking like a hot mess, and Erik in a suit? Question mark.
I haven't left the house in days. I haven't left this room.
Yeah,
I feel disgusted. I havenven't showered.
but you're wearing
I for sure smell of what we'll get into a little bit later for what I think needs to relax. But yeah, I had this suit that's been in my closet for 4 months that I've never worn.
Yeah,
Wearing it now.
yeah, and I am in pajamas and a very stinky breast milk formula smelling shirt / bra situation. But we're both also wearing our children. I'm holding Maisie, Erik's holding Wesley, which is why we're talking really soft. If you're just listening right now, they're both asleep, so they might wake up in the middle of this podcast. So it might be a short one today, but we're here and we're excited to talk to you.
Of course. Of course.
Of course, as Flynn would say, / Miranda. Why did I just say like Miranda? Of course.
That's pretty
Wait,
good.
is that how you got it?
You do a good Miranda Sings impression.
Thank you.
Has anyone ever told
I've
you
been
that?
told.
Have you
I've
ever
been told.
gotten recognized and someone was like, hey, you know who you look like? You look like that Miranda Sings, that lipstick YouTube. I bet you get that all the
Wait,
time.
are you joking? You've been with me when this happens. This happens often.
Okay,
You look like
well, they
that
don't know
Miranda girl.
that.
You look, and then I go have to like this awkward moment in my mind where I either go,
I don't really remember
Okay.
specific times of that happening, although it probably has.
it does, and I in my mind I go, do I? There's no good option.
They always say, are you Miranda Sings?
No, they go, you look. A lot of times people say you look like Miranda Sings, and then I have this awkward moment in my head
Yeah,
where
you
I go
always-
like,
yeah, you
do I
say-
say, well, it is me,
You say, I get that a lot.
or I do not.
I've heard you say,
that.
I've for
That is
sure.
so cringy.
Now I've unlocked the memories. I for sure heard you say, I get that a lot. And you say it like that, and you do this like,
No, I do
Chin thing.
not. Ew, I've never said that. But I either, in my head, I go like, okay, I can either be like, lie and just be like, oh, not me. Or I go like, yeah, that's me, which sounds like, they're both like obnoxious options in my head. But anyway, who needs to relax for you? Do you want me to go first? Do you want to go first?
I can go first.
Okay, who needs to relax? Lovely?
I cannot, when you have a baby, you think of all the things that are going to change in your life.
What if you have babies?
And then you find out you're having babies and you're like, oh, people are always like, oh, the poop is going to be so much poop. And there is. There's lots of poop and
Lots of poo.
the diapers. And there's lots and lots of diapers all over the place. But what you don't really think about, especially when you have babies and premature babies and the whole experience that we had at the NICU, is like how much your life revolves around breast milk, or as I affectionately called it in our first pregnancy, tit piss.
Tit piss.
It's the driving lifeblood of everyone in our family. It's
horrible.
I could go on. I don't even know where to start. A blessing, I suppose, that
Very much.
you produce
A lot of breast
ample
milk.
amounts of. I don't think I'm going to call it tit piss now. I think I've grown. I think I've matured out of calling.
You've been calling it that, not on
I
this
think
podcast.
we'll just call it breast milk.
Oh, Wesley has a lot to say about it. Wesley's
He heard it and he got hungry.
He's like, yes. Wesley likes it.
But it became like, for them to graduate, to be discharged from the NICU, they had to eat a certain amount of breast milk. And we were bringing breast milk to the hospital in coolers, and they would
And
go
I've been
get the
pumping
breast milk.
every 3 hours.
And you'd always be holding this premature baby, learning how to do the whole suck, swallow, breathe thing as they were kind of spitting up breast milk, and it would be going down your hand and onto your knee. And then we had to get an extra freezer for our room to keep
And
frozen
fridge.
breast milk in. But then we had to also get a fridge for our room to keep not frozen breast milk in. And then we had to get a heater for the breast milk. Then we had to get 2 heaters for the breast milk so we could heat 2 bottles at the same time. And then the bottles. There are so many bottles, and the bottles have so many pieces, and the pieces have to be cleaned. So we needed a sterilizer for the pieces
And
of
the
the
pump
bottles
needs-
to
and
hold
the
the
pump
breast
is-
milk.
yeah, and the
and
pump is all
then
these pieces.
you also need to pump the breast milk. So we have a pump, but the pump wasn't good enough. So we had to get a bigger pump for the breast milk. And the breast milk pump has 2 things that go on your breasts, and they have 1,000 pieces each that each time need to be washed and they need to be sanitized. And for the breast milk, and then there's the babies, and the babies need to eat the breast milk, and they need to eat the breast milk every 3 hours. They need to eat this many milliliters.
Well, actually, it's
of-
more like every 2.5 with
every
these
2.5
guys.
hours. And I'm talking night. I'm talking, and there's 2 of them. So we both got to get up for every time. To give them the breast milk. And the breast milk is on the sheets and the pillowcases and the
on
clothes
everything.
and did we bring the breast milk? Where's the breast milk? And what's the temperature of the breast milk? And I swear to God, it is in the marrow of my bones. It's breast milk. I smell it, and it doesn't smell good.
Wait, time out. I have to say something. Because
Have I been talking for 45 minutes?
I think the
or did
podcast
I
is
just
over.
Start?
So here's the thing: is my relax is similar to yours, which is the formula we have to put into the breast milk to fortify the breast milk, because they can't just eat breast milk; they have to have fortified breast milk because they're preemies that has extra calories in it that we put in it, and that, by the way, is what stinks. Go smell that thing. I swear to you.
Yeah.
Go smell
I'm
that
sure.
can.
I'm sure.
'Cause
And
my
they've
breast
had this
milk-
from the beginning.
My breast milk doesn't stink. It's with
I-
Flynn, if you'll remember, what stunk
It
was when he
does-
puked it up. With them, what stinks is the breast milk always, because it's got that fortified nasty stuff in it that stinks. Oh, Wesley's
You just shit
is he
on me.
Barf? Oh, you just
Just shit
pooping?
into the palm of my hand.
Yes, I agree that breast milk is ruling our life. More so mine, no offense, because
Well, of
it has to
course.
come out of my body, and it is. Oh my God, you guys!
Well, also, it's like it
hate
hurts you,
pumping.
and it's
Yeah, because I get
yeah.
I get clogged ducts, and it's super painful. So I have to massage my boobs with things that look very.
And I'm grateful because some people
Interesting.
can't produce it apparently, and I'm grateful
so
for our
grateful for
children
it.
because it's keeping them alive and growing them.
But it is ruling our lives right now.
It's just. It is the sun, and we are, you know what I mean, and everything else revolves around the sun of the solar system of our lives. That is,
Yeah.
it's just everything is breast milk. Everything.
It never bothered me with Flynn because Flynn just breastfed. And
Right.
so he would have bottles every once in a while, but only because we were told he needed to have bottles. So he knew how to bottle feed in case ever needed to go anywhere.
Right.
But essentially he just breastfed, and it was hard work, but it was very convenient. He's hungry, put him on my boob. He was crying, put him on my boob. He
Yeah,
was
so
sad,
the
put him on
middle of
my
the
boob.
nights you could do that, and then I would just have to then get up and change him after, you know what I mean, get him back to sleep. It wasn't
Get up, make the bottle, warm the bottle.
and they
give
take
the
a long
bottle
time
next-
to do these. It's not like they drink a bottle in 5 minutes.
No, they take
It takes a
forever.
very long time.
Yeah, because they're little newbies. Yes, I agree. All these things need to relax. But this, everything's, my hair smells like breast milk.
Yeah, everything smells like it to me. Even when I leave this house, I'll get whiffs of it. I could be driving and roll down every window in the car and I'll still smell it. You know what I mean? I feel like it's like what people must feel like that work at a fish factory. You know what I mean?
Fish factory.
I don't know. And you're always smelling fish. I worked in a seafood restaurant, and I remember I would always smell
yeah.
tartar sauce everywhere. It's very similar. Tartar sauce kind of looks like.
Tartar sauce does not look like breast milk or smell like breast milk, first of all.
It does when you don't rinse out the bottles right away, and they you find one that's been sitting there for a couple.
Oh, man.
still
Well, yeah, I
pooping.
agree with you that breast milk needs to relax for sure. Mine was going to be the formula that we have to use to fortify. 'cause
Yours
that
is
stuff
more
stinks.
specific. Mine's just more
But
cutie.
our lives do revolve around the milk, and we might have to take breaks because our lives revolve around it, and these babies are going to need to eat again soon, as Wesley is proving to us by waking up grunting over there
What was the last time he?
a couple hours ago.
Ugh.
That's why, 10 minutes ago, I said, Eric, I was like, we don't have much time. We got to do this podcast because they're going to want to eat soon. So anyway, we're not just going to talk about breast milk or tit piss, as Erik would call it today.
It's kind of vulgar. It sounds vulgar to me now. I think I'm more grown up now. Yeah.
Okay. What do you want to call it?
Tit pee.
Tit pee pee. Pee pee.
Because it is essentially like you peeing out of another part of your body.
I will say this though. Okay. We are exhausted. Never been more tired in our lives ever. But truly, it's the most exhausted I've ever felt in my life. It's very hard having twins. It's very, very hard having newborn twins. However, we have not done a podcast since Maisie's come home. And I have to say,
yay,
having them both home, even though it's better. The hardest thing I've ever done, is a billion times better than having them in the NICU. Like,
of course, yeah, by a mile.
Especially when Wes was home.
Same thing.
But then also go to the hospital.
In a hospital room, them all hooked up, and have to do it separately.
Oh my God, it was so awful.
You just reminded me that you have to give the final Gary update. It's
God,
so involved.
This is a big deal. Okay, so
this blew my mind because we'd have to take shifts at the hospital, so we didn't get to experience the whole Gary phenomena together. So we'd have to do it separately and then tell each other what happened with him.
Yeah. So okay, guys, this is a big Gary update.
He's the security guard at the hospital, by the way.
There is a Gary we found out later there is a Gary security guard at this hospital, and that's not the person we're talking about. We're trying to keep it anonymous, and then we met a Gary security guard, and we're like, oh no. I hope he never listens to this podcast and thinks we're talking about him.
Or it's not like...
Oh, Wes has a lot to say. I'm not kidding. We might have to pause the podcast to feed these babies. So, okay, but update. So obviously we don't go to the hospital anymore, which is glorious. And we're so grateful the babies are healthy and safe and home, even though we're exhausted. It's been so wonderful. We're so grateful for it. And as much as we say the NICU experience was terrible, because it was a horrible experience for us, we are so grateful to all the hospital workers and everyone who kept our babies safe and growing and okay. So I just have to say that, the people who work there are angels, and even though I never want to have to go back there again, I genuinely already miss some of the nurses. They became such a part of our daily routine, seeing them. Yeah, and
there's a
talking
couple there that'll certainly be invited to birthday parties in the future. If birthday parties are still a thing in this world, I feel like the video can see my naked feet, and I'm very uncomfortable about it. I feel like we need to hide them. I feel very exposed.
So Gary update, guys. We got a big Gary update. So one day I went to the hospital. If you haven't been listening in the last few episodes, we talked about the security guard who was he's very intense. He's very good at his job of security, and he never remembered us. And it was, anyway, go back and listen to other episodes if you want to know who Gary is. So anyway, there's a big update.
If you want a Wesley update, he's just shat for the 4th time of this podcast already.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't even hear it anymore. Okay, so I went to the hospital by myself because once Wesley came home, Erik and I took shifts at the hospital. So I'd go be with Maisie while he was home with Wesley, and then we'd switch. And so I went to go be with Maisie, and Gary was there, and he never remembers me, and he always acts like he's never seen us before, even though we've been there every day, multiple times a day for literally 2 months. Yeah. He always pretended like he didn't know who we were, and he was annoyed that we were there. Anyway, I show up, and he's like, who are you? Where are you going? I was like, oh, Gary, come on, man. You know me. I'm all NICU. I said, I'm going up to the NICU to see my baby. And he's like, oh, your baby went home. And I was like, yes. Well, one of my babies went home. There's another one still up there. And he goes, twins? And I said, yeah. And Gary says, I'm a twin.
I couldn't believe it.
And I was like, what? And he was like, I'm an identical twin. And I was like, oh my gosh. It was such a huge moment because we've been talking about Gary for weeks. He's been such a big part of our lives. He never remembers who we are. And all of a sudden I have this bonding moment with him. So I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. And I was like, you're going to have to give me some advice. And then he says to me, his actual name, but he says, hi, I'm Gary. And in my head I go, oh, I know who you are.
We are well aware. We have a segment
hundreds of thousands of people know who you are.
We have a segment on our podcast where we talk to you. Yeah, he's like, let me introduce myself to you.
I'm Gary. And I was like,
we
nice
talk
to
about
meet you, Gary.
You all the time, guy.
So anyway, he was so excited that I had twins. And I was like, you have to give me advice because you're a twin. You're an expert. And guys, he took that very seriously because then, so we're outside, by the way, because there's security outside the hospital and inside the hospital. So he's outdoors that day and he was on the outdoor shift and he was outside talking to me. There is a long line of people. Mind you, this is the same line to get in the hospital if you are having a baby, if you're having a surgery, or if you're going to the emergency room for an emergency. It's the same line to get in. So there's a line of people behind me waiting to get into
through who knows
the
what.
hospital. People in wheelchairs, people bleeding. Like people are needing to get to the emergency
I've seen multiple
room.
people that just have like CVS bags over their limbs.
Yeah.
Like they'll just be like an arm, but they have a CVS bag over it. And I'm like, you can go ahead.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
So I said to Larry, you're gonna have to give me advice, because you know more about twins than me. You're an expert. And he took that and was like, yes, I do need to give you advice right now. So he immediately was like, all right, first thing I got to tell you, they don't like it when you dress them the same. And I was like, okay. He's like, don't dress them the same. They don't like that. They really don't like that. And I was like,
Okay.
Gary's got some deeper issues here.
Twishes.
And then he said, make sure nobody tries to pin them against each other. Someone's going to try to pin them against each other.
I think it's pit them against each other. You saying pin?
I am saying pin.
Pin them against each other?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Why am I saying that?
I think it's you pit something against another thing. I don't think you pin it. If you pin it, you're like,
Yeah, I don't know why I'm saying that.
you are. I'm just making you aware that you are.
Yeah, I don't know why.
The first time I was just gonna let go, but then you said it twice.
I said it wrong. I don't know. I think I always thought it was pin, but it is pit. It is pit for sure. Okay, guys, whatever. I could blame that on me being tired, but I think I genuinely have always said it wrong.
I would believe that.
So anyway, he said, don't let someone, like, this is very specific. Don't let someone pit them against each other. People are going to try to make them hate each other and be against each other. Don't
Again,
let
sounds
anyone
like a
do
very
that. And
specific personal issue.
Like,
yeah.
okay. And he's like trying to go into detail about how detrimental that was going to be to our kids if someone did that, because him and his brother, someone tried to pit them against each other. And people behind me in line started going like, hey, emergency here, emergency. And Gary looks behind me at the people and he's like, oh, emergency? Like as though he forgot where he was. That this is literally the line.
He worked in the line for the emergency entrance of a hospital.
So a man pushing his like significant other in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Was like, I have an emergency. He's like, emergency? And he looks at me, he's like, so anyway, and I was like, I'm going, Gary. So I was like, good to see you. I'll see you later. And I went inside because I didn't want everyone in line to
What
hate
a
me.
Twist that Gary
is a twin.
Is a twin himself.
And by the way, every time I went in after that, he was so excited to see me.
No problem. You didn't have to wait an extra half hour to get through.
And every time I went in after, I'd be like, hey, Gary. He'd be like, oh, hey. We were like friends. So it was a perfect ending to our Gary saga.
But after this, when I would go still, he'd get up in my face. What are you doing? Why are you here? Yeah, and he would aggressively put the forehead digital thermometer to my temple.
Gosh.
And be like, any COVID symptoms? Been exposed to any COVID? Blah, 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 like holding this thing against my temple.
And you're like, not since 5 hours ago when I saw you last.
Yeah, not since the last time I was here 3 hours ago. I just literally left to get lunch and then come back to the hospital. And you know me, guy. You know me. But you're a twin.
By the way, tangent here, but so Erik is the only person I've ever known who says guy regarding anyone. Like, you can be driving and be like, what are you doing, guy? Or like, if you're in line, like, come on, guy, you know what you want.
It's a big thing with me and my friends in high school. We call everybody guy.
Everybody's guy.
Hey, guy. What's up, guy?
Not like this guy or
what
that
up,
guy.
guy.
It's like, come on, guy. What are you doing, guy? Get out of my way, guy. So Erik's the only person I've ever known who's done that. But
guy.
Today.
You can use it in any way.
Yeah, I love it. So today, Wesley was in a swing and Flynn went up to him and was like, what are you doing, guy? And it was the cutest thing in the whole world to hear him talk like you. I loved it so much. I have to sneeze so bad. It's like killing me right now.
I think you have to hold it in.
I think I just sneezed on our daughter.
I think you sneezed inside. I think you managed to sneeze inside your own body. That was so strange. You did like but you were like concerned for her daughter, so you sneezed.
Like she slept right through it.
You sneezed back down your sinuses. That was incredible. She's
used to, I feel like the babies are so used to my sniffling and sneezes and stuff that when I do it, it never scares them. It like comforts them because that's all they heard when I was pregnant. You know what I mean? Anyway, So yeah, that's the Gary update. The babies are home. Maisie's doing well. Wesley's doing well. They're just very much new babies. Even though they're almost 2 months old, they're acting like newborns. They basically are newborns. They're not even 7 pounds yet.
And if you've ever had a kid, like, yeah, we don't have to go to the hospital anymore. But like with a singular newborn baby, there's lots of doctor visits. Like there's lots of follow-ups and things. And we have 2 of those. So it's like we're still.
Yeah, well, we have 3. Flint's going to the doctor too.
Yeah. So I think that's our life from now on. It's just like.
Doctors or
and
babies?
And I'm excited for when it's like that and like some sort of like soccer practice.
Soccer?
Soccer?
Wait, soccer?
American
What's
football.
soccer practice?
Soccer.
Oh, they said sucker. Then I was thinking like a lollipop. I was like, they have to practice sucking on lollipops? Like, what are you talking about? I'm so tired. Lovey, I'm so tired. You guys, we're so tired that Erik has had full conversations with me that he doesn't remember because he was asleep. But it seemed like he was awake.
Yeah, I've had like, there's like 2 feedings in the middle of the night. Like one is, well, there's another, there's like the 2 in the morning and then there's like the 5, 6 in the morning. I don't know, like I'll be blackout for some of those.
But he'll be talking to me like he's conscious.
Blackout tired, that is, yeah.
And his eyes will be open. He'll be looking at me. He'll be feeding Wesley. He'll be talking to Wesley.
And then all of a sudden you get real mad at me and I'll wake up and be like.
You'll say something awful or do, and
I don't
I'm like.
say something awful. What do I say that's awful?
Lovey, Wesley's laughing because he thinks this is hilarious.
The B word?
The B word?
The C word?
What? No. The other night he called me an asshole. Because I asked him to feed Wesley. And I was like, it's 4 a.m. I'm not going to get mad at you for this.
Oh my God.
We've said things to each other that would end most marriages, but we're both so understanding of each other.
I called you an asshole?
Yes.
Can you...
You called me an asshole because you were... And then the next day I found out that you were asleep because you said to me like, hey...
I was like, you should apologize for it.
Because you said to me like, hey, you should... and you were correct.
Don't get mad at me when I'm unconscious.
You're like, no, you didn't say that. You said, hey, in the middle of the night during those feeds, like, you should try like speaking to me a little kinder. Like, you're very sweet about it. And I was like, I did, but after like 20 minutes, and then after you called me an asshole, like I got mad. And you're like, what? Like you didn't remember any... So it was like... I thought you were awake.
I think it said, to be fair, you were kind of being an asshole.
Well, by that point, probably, yeah. Because I'd woken you up so many times, and I was like, who are you going to feed? And you're like, I'm going to feed Wesley. So I handed you Wesley, and you handed him back to me.
and I was rolled over.
And you rolled over and went to sleep. And I was like, whoa. Who are you going to feed?
Even remember
and
this.
you were like, I'm feeding Wesley. And I was like, okay, because you just handed me Wesley and his bottle. Here's Wesley. And you're like, no. And then you started cuddling Maisie.
Well, I didn't know. It's funny.
And you fell asleep. Like you grabbed Maisie and cuddled her.
I didn't know which one was which at that point either. I remember when I did finally wake up, and this is after calling you
an asshole.
Right. I at that point thought I was holding Wesley, but it was Maze. Like I confused them for the first time.
So the point at which you called me an asshole is because I was holding both babies, cradling Wesley in my kneecap.
I was just holding a cat.
No,
I'm like just forcing a bottle down Gus's throat.
No, I had like Wesley in my kneecap. I was like rocking my leg, trying to keep Wesley calm. And I was bottle feeding Maisie, and you were sitting there just like asleep, I guess, but your eyes were open. And I was like, love, please take Wesley. And I kind of snapped. And you were like, that's when you called me an asshole, because I snapped at you to take him. But you were like,
oh, so you admit it?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
But it was still like after 15 minutes of me being like, take Wesley, and you giving him back to me and like throwing bottles across the room, like in your slumber. And it was, yeah, we have a lot of conversations, I guess, half asleep, and we are stronger because of it.
It's funny. I feel like these kinds of like, what would you call it? Like a repartee, like a
tiffy?
A tiffy. Like it's happened a couple times. Yeah. And then the next morning we kind of don't even talk about it. We're just
we're fine. Because we both know like, oh, that was
like, it's not real.
That wasn't real. It didn't count. We were like tired and half asleep, and no, it's like, I think we're very forgiving of each other right now, which is necessary.
Oh yeah.
Because
that's a good piece of advice.
I think so. Because we're both so tired, and this is hard, and a lot happens and a lot changes when you're sleep deprived. You know, we're extremely sleep deprived. We're going to snap. Like, I think we're understanding of each other that like, that's just going to happen. And I know you love me, and I know you don't actually think I'm an asshole, hopefully, most of the time. I think we're just tired, and sometimes we're
Oh, I'm supposed to say no.
Okay, fine. But you know what I'm saying. Anyway.
You know who's not an asshole?
Who's not an asshole? Gary? Who?
Daily Harvest.
Oh, you know what? You're correct. Daily Harvest is not an a-hole. And I think we should take a moment to say thank you to them for sponsoring this episode of the podcast.
I thought of it because I'm hungry.
Yeah. And we love Daily Harvest.
And I know our freezer's full of it.
Let's be real. I think we can all probably up our fruit and veggie game. I know that I can. It has been so hard to get my daily amount of fruit and veggies ever since we had the twins come. It's just been super, super hard to find time to be healthy or to eat anything good at all. I feel like most of the time I'm just like finding food off the floor of the van that Flynn threw, like old Chewy bars and raisins, and being like, I guess this is a good snack. Well, newsflash, it's not. So this year I want to change that, and that is why we're keeping our freezer stocked with Daily Harvest. Daily Harvest is the easiest way to get more fruits and veggies into our day every day. They have our back with delicious food that's good for us and good for the planet. Daily Harvest delivers delicious harvest bowls, flatbreads, smoothies, and more, all built on organic fruits and vegetables right to your door, and it conveniently stays fresh in your freezer. So we have our freezer packed with breast milk and Daily Harvest right now. There's so many amazing things on their menu, like the broccoli and cheese harvest bowl, which is one of my personal favorites, the tomato and zucchini minestrone soup, and plenty of other delicious options. Daily Harvest takes literally minutes to prepare and never uses preservatives, added sugar, or artificial anything, and that goes for everything. They have so many delicious options for every time of the day: breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert, or a snack. Daily Harvest has you covered. We love them all. We really like the flatbreads right now. That's like our go-to. It's quick, easy, and delicious, and it feels like we're eating something that's not good for us, even though it is good for us. That's my personal favorite. Daily Harvest is all about preserving and protecting the earth for current and future generations to come. From their recyclable and compostable packaging to investing in organic farming practices and reducing food waste, you can feel good about the choices you are making physically and for the environment. Daily Harvest makes it easy to feel good about what I'm doing for myself and the planet. Go to dailyharvest.com/relax to get up to $40 off your first box. That's dailyharvest.com/relax for up to $40 off your first box. dailyharvest.com/relax. All right, after talking about all that delicious food, the babies got hungry, and so we fed them, and now they're hanging out with us. That was Maisie.
All night long. Wes, anything to say? For the first time in your life, nothing?
I know, Wesley's usually the big grunter. So yeah, we'll see how this goes with the babies hanging out with us. Who knows? But yeah, we had quite an adventure just now, taking our little break to feed them. So they decided they were hungry.
How long did that take? An hour?
An hour.
We started this podcast at 8:30. It's almost midnight.
That was the most Erik Stockland thing you've ever done. What you just did. Erik likes,
how much you hate
Erik
me.
likes to make up times like that. So like if let's say he sleeps 5 hours, he'll tell you he slept 3.
I've actually slept 3.
And no, he's actually slept 5. He'll tell you he slept 3.
Right.
If it takes an hour to get somewhere, he'll tell you it took 3. If it took an hour to feed the babies, he'll tell you it took 5.
I'm compensating for like frustration or.
So we did not start recording the podcast at 8:30. We started at like 10. And I don't know what it's like. It is almost midnight though. But yeah, it did take about an hour to feed them. So basically this is what happened. I'm going to give you a rundown. Maisie looks so cute right now. So basically what happened was, the babies decided they were hungry immediately, and they were furious about it. Like there was no rev up to like the baby might be hungry, let's get them a bottle. It was like, if you don't feed me right now,
well, they're like you. They're like you. Like me, I'm
that's
like,
true. That's true.
I kind of think I'm hungry. Like, maybe you want to talk about food. You're like, I'm hungry. I'm starving now. What can I have now?
Yeah.
Feed it to me now. Like,
yeah.
That's what they do.
That's what they do. So, well, that's what they did certainly this time. So, they did that. And so it takes a minute. That's the other frustrating thing about having bottle fed babies is that you can't just feed them right away like you can with a boob. And so it takes a minute. They have to wait for the milk to thaw or to warm. and we have to add vitamins or formula or whatever to it.
Well, we have bottle warmers. We've gone over this. Yeah. We're not like, let's wait for it to thaw.
No.
Like over
we have to
6 hours.
Find the right nipple for the right baby because they have different nipple sizes.
Yeah, that wasn't part of my rant. Like, and do they need iron this time, or do they need vitamin D this time, or whatever? Yeah.
So anyway, so they're furious, and so I was like, okay, well, I have these boobs that have the food in them that they want, so I started trying to breastfeed both of them, which was a disaster.
What'd you say? I really went to sleep.
I believe you. I tried to breastfeed both of them, which was a disaster. Eric took pictures, and then I tried to bottle feed one while breastfeeding the other. That didn't work. And then Eric took a baby, and I had a baby, and we both tried to bottle feed, but he was bottle feeding one walking around. And then Wesley pooped his pants like 400 times, and Maisie pooped. So Eric cleaned out Maisie's poop, and then he just kept trying to feed.
Cleaned out?
You know what I mean? And then I'm holding Wesley trying to bottle feed him, and then he had a blowout, and poop got all over him and me. And then when I picked him up to make sure the poop didn't get anywhere else, he vomited down my back. And then Eric went and changed Wesley, and then right when he was done changing him, he pooped again.
Right.
And now they're sitting next to us like this.
And the thing about
that's every time.
Right. You describing this as some sort of like exciting
this
happenstance. No, this happens every time. And so when we say that they eat every 3 or 2.5 hours, that whole process takes in itself an hour to an hour and a half. And so it's like a constant. You know what I mean? Like there's never really, I mean, I guess they sleep kind of sometimes.
They sleep. We don't, but they do. Anyway, so that's what we just did. It was super fun. And now we're back with 2 grunty babies. You guys want to hear? Here, let's let them do the podcast. All right. Maisie and Wesley are going to take over for a second. Okay, how long was that? I feel like we just did that for 2 minutes. Sorry, guys. This is not going to be our podcast from now on, but it is going to be how it is right now. So anyway,
I don't know what else we would do.
So here's the deal. We just had Christmas, and I wanted to talk about this for a second. So we just had Christmas, and there was like a big debate in our home about
finally
Christmas.
get to take down all those decorations, guys.
No, you don't. Your parents are coming soon, and we're going to do Christmas with your parents.
I know, but they don't need the decorations.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. You're not taking them down before your parents get here.
You're just using it. You don't care that they're coming. You're literally using it as an excuse to keep decorations up longer.
How dare you say I don't care that your parents are
coming?
coming?
It will be the new year. COVID will be over, and those decorations are coming down.
What are you talking about? COVID's going to be over in a couple days?
I'm saying things that aren't going to happen.
Oh.
You're not going to let me take the decorations down.
Not before your parents get here. They have to experience Christmas to the full extent when they come. We're redoing Christmas when his parents come. I'm so freaking excited.
Oh, well, we already did it for your birthday. I feel like Flint's birthday was kind of Christmassy.
Well, it's almost done. Anyway, that's not what I was going to say. I was going to say Eric was very upset about Christmas because obviously every family does holiday traditions differently, and my family opens each present individually one at a time, and we all watch. And this has caused a big controversy in our home because Eric hates this rule. He thinks we should all just like have a smorgasbord, like explosion, everyone opening up presents at the same time. No,
it's just like you got presents for you, you find a present for you, you open it, and you thank the person that got for you, and like they can look over and see like, oh, that person's opening that present that I got them in that moment, as opposed to you guys who it's like a show and you feel like so on display that you literally pass out a singular present at a time to each family member, and then everybody stares at them, and then they have to say, oh, it's this, and I got this. I do too, but that it can happen. Like it was 3 p.m. and
oh my God, here we go with Eric's time again.
And I was shaking with starvation,
and
we were like still on stockings.
If there was an Eric clock, it would have 67 hours in a day with how you do time.
Sense.
It was not 3:30 when we were done. It was like 11, and we started at 9.
No, it wasn't.
Love, it was not 3:30 when we were done. You're nuts. It was not 3:30.
First of all, you're like, we're starting opening presents at 8 a.m.
And we got done there at 9.
And there's a person in charge of passing out the presents, and then everybody looks at the person as they open the present. It's
So
It's
anyway,
too much.
I'm curious about what you guys do because Erik hates that. He thinks everyone should show. It makes Christmas last longer. You take your time. You get to see what everyone got, and you just and like hear the conversation.
Christmas morning
like,
should be like chaos and excitement, and like kids opening their presents like when they want to open. You know what I mean? Not like.
It's not like rules and regulations. It's just like I want to see what everyone got, and especially because I forget every single gift I give. Mm-hmm. And so I get really excited to see when people open the presents I got because I don't remember what I bought. So that's always really exciting for me.
Yeah, I never did it that way.
Well, I like
think
it.
when I was a kid, we did it really early because we were like all like so excited.
Yeah.
When I was like really little, and then as I got older, it was like, we'll open presents like noon.
No,
we
always
open
have done
it
it
all
like
whenever.
that. We've always opened them early. But I want to say my favorite gift this year, I think is from you, and it's the pants I'm wearing and the sweatshirt. Erik got me like a pink tracksuit, and I love it. So cozy.
That's your favorite gift this year?
I think so. Other than Maisie being home.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know if Maisie was going to be home for Christmas, and she was. It's very exciting.
That's the best thing for sure.
What was your favorite gift, Lovey?
You got me a watch. You know that's what it is.
Erik likes his watch.
And I don't even know what else.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't even remember anything that was given. I liked seeing Flynn be excited. That was exciting.
That was the gift.
Like he was having the time of his life.
Yeah, he was like, it's like I feel like it's the first Christmas morning that he got to actually experience, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? As a conscious child.
Right.
Like this is the first time he understood it. And the first time we like, I don't know. I didn't know how I felt about the whole Santa thing, but then I was excited. I was like, I don't know. I thought Santa was, he is real.
Right. Of
course.
What was I supposed to say? Well, yeah, good catch. I will say Flynn is anti-Santa.
Yeah,
Flynn
and so like I was excited to be like, we got, like I said to you, I'm like, we got to do like the cookies and milk out for Santa thing, and then Flynn was like, Santa's not coming here.
You know how that started? I was putting him to bed like 2 nights before Christmas, and I was he's asked me to tell him a story. I always tell him a story before bed, like I make up a story for him. And I was telling him a story about Christmas. I was like, once upon a time, every story I tell him is once upon a time there's a little boy named Flynn, every single time. It's like, once upon a time there's a little boy named Flynn, and he went to bed, and I told the whole story of how Santa Claus is going to come down the chimney, and it was so awesome, he's so cool, and he's going to bring us all these presents. He comes on a reindeer that flies in the sky, and like, I told him the whole thing. He listens to the whole story quiet. Like doesn't interact with me at all. I say he's going to bring him huge presents, all the trucks he could imagine. Like I told the best version of Santa ever. And then after I was done, he goes, I don't want Santa to come to here. And I was like, you don't want Santa to come here? No, I don't want Santa to come here.
Well, I get
Just
it. Like,
mommy and daddy.
Who is this guy that's going to come down the chimney in the middle of the night?
It's kind of weird. Like a stranger's going to come into your house. It's kind of weird.
Kind of
eat your
threatening.
food.
Like there's like a list, and like you could end up on like the wrong list. Like it's kind of threatening.
Kind of mobby. Is that like mob mentality? Like you don't? I don't know anything
as
about
if
mob.
what am I in the mob? What are you talking
I'm
about?
saying like a list of like people, like a hit list. You know what I'm saying? Isn't that a thing? A hit list? I don't know. I don't watch mob movies like you do. Isn't there a hit list?
I don't think Santa has a hit list, love. I think it's like literally like, are you naughty or nice?
Yeah, it's a list of good kids and bad kids, and the bad kids
are going to get
Lovey.
Whacked?
They get coal.
They're going to get whacked?
They get whacked.
Yeah.
Okay, where are we? I don't know what this is. What are we talking about? Anyway, Flynn doesn't like Santa. Flynn is very anti-Santa Claus. Was 0% excited or interested in the idea of Santa bringing him gifts. He said no, only mommy and daddy will bring me gifts. Apparently Wesley's not interested in Santa either because he just started crying. Oh, Wesley.
He just wants his bink-a-dink.
But anyway, our Christmas was lovely, except for the fact that we were just like really super, super duper exhausted. But it was nice to see family, and it was nice that the twins were home. And
Christmas happened. And then the next
you're
thing,
not talking. What do you want me to say here, love?
He was like recounting Christmas. I don't know. It was.
Then you
made
come up with the next topic.
I made a ham.
You come up with the next topic here, love.
We ate the ham.
Okay.
And do it. Call me the A word. I know you want to.
No, I don't think you're being a butthead.
So, and what comes after Christmas, love?
New Year's Eve.
New Year's. Mm-hmm. This is so strange to be doing this while like holding a binky in a baby's mouth as he like loses his mind. It's a little Zombie child. So I thought we could talk about New Year's resolutions.
I don't believe in those, but okay.
I know you. I assumed, of course, you don't. And I wanted to read to you what are the most common.
Can I guess?
New Year's resolutions. Yes, that makes it more fun for sure. And see if have you ever done a New Year's resolution?
Maybe. If I did, I don't remember it. I don't usually do them. I'm pretty anti them because I'm like, if I want to do something, I do it kind of a person. I'm not the kind of a person who's like, well, when the new year starts, that's when I'll start doing something. Or, oh, it's all of a sudden January 1st, I will start doing blank. It's like, if I'm inspired to do something, I'll do it.
It's funny that you say that because like historically it's kind of his excuse for people to kind of act bad for December, you know what I mean? Because they're like, because then like as far as the history of it, New Year's resolutions started a few hundred years ago, at least, where they can find in literature the terms New Year's and resolution together.
Can I guess what the top ones are?
History for you. I did the research.
Okay. Can I
Do you know
guess?
where the word January comes from?
No.
Janus.
From Friends?
No, Janus is like the Greek god of like new beginnings from Friends. That's funny.
So can I guess what the top?
Yeah. Okay. So I have right here, I even have a percentile of the top New Year's resolutions for people. What's the number? Like, what's the number one?
Going to the gym.
No.
Dieting or losing weight.
Eat healthier is the number one New Year's.
I assumed so.
Resolution. I guess.
Was it going to the gym number 2?
And number 2 is get more exercise.
Yep.
You've never done this? You've never made a New Year's resolution? I don't know that I guess I've.
I don't think so.
Promised myself personally, like
you seem like the type that be so into it.
No, not to where I'd like write it down, but that I'd think it. Like I would have the thought.
I feel like you're very
like in the new year, like I'm gonna do this. What do you think number 3 is?
Something about
these are all kind of tied,
or like dreams or aspirations of I don't know.
Just work dreams.
Work dreams.
Have better work dreams.
Have better work dreams.
Save money or save more money.
Okay. Yeah, like these are why don't you just do these things? Why does it need to be January to do these things?
Okay, let's go back because that was not like what I was going to do with this as a game was say like, have you ever done any of these things? So have you ever ate healthier?
No.
For any reason?
I have. There'd be times where I'm like, oh, I've eaten garbage for 3 weeks straight. I'm going to make a healthy dinner.
So like a single meal?
Yeah. Well, and when I was pregnant this time, I was like forced to eat healthy for a while, which is
you say that like you loved it.
It was horrible.
So.
No, but not voluntarily. I've never like just consistently eaten healthy, which is something every doctor I've ever had has been like, you need to work on that. Okay. But here's what I think. I think food is like, it's delicious. And so why would you waste meals on things that don't taste good? Like the point of eating is like, it tastes good and it's an enjoyable experience.
Or the point of eating is fuel for your body.
Sure. But like, that's not fun. I'm not going to eat to fuel. I'm going to eat because it tastes good. You know what I'm saying? So like, if it doesn't taste good, it's a waste of my time. So like, I'm not going to eat something if it doesn't taste good, basically is what I'm saying. Unless I absolutely have to, like you're forcing me. So
not you. What about number 2 is get more exercise? You ever exercised consistently?
I had a gym membership.
When?
Do you believe me?
No. Well, I believe you that you like had a membership, but like I'm confused as to why you got the membership. It must have been like a friend was like, "We're doing this."
I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. I know that it was like
I feel like
a
you
decade
remember
ago.
and you're not telling me.
I swear to God, I don't remember. I think it was like.
I think you're lying.
I swear to God. I swear to God.
You had a look.
What do you mean I had a look?
Just say it. Why'd you get a gym membership?
I do not remember why. I think I thought I was a size I didn't want to be and wanted to be smaller. And this one had a
Miss America?
And it had there was a guy out on the street who was like passing out flyers for like cheaper memberships or whatever. And so I was like, all right. Yeah.
And
You took a flyer from someone in New York? I've never taken a flyer from anyone
I
in
was
New York.
new. I didn't. I was 21. 22.
Anytime anyone like handed you like a flyer or a CD, you were like, yeah, I'll take that.
Oh my God, my mom took a CD from someone
and then
once.
they
It
want
was
money.
so bad. It was a big fight. Anyway, I had a gym membership and I went a few times and the only thing I did there was ride the elliptical. That's the one that's like a stairs, but like a circly kind of
funniest
stairs.
image I've ever had in my mind.
And you know what
is
I did when I was there?
imagining you on an elliptical. I'm shocked that you even know what that is.
And what I did when I was there, I didn't listen to music. I would read a book on my, I downloaded a book on my phone and I would read a book on my phone.
While on the elliptical?
Yeah.
How would you turn the pages? It takes like 2 arms.
What? How does turning pages take 2 arms on your phone?
Well, you're doing this on the elliptical.
You don't have to hold on to the elliptical
Oh, you're just doing it.
with your feet or like one arm to like scroll. But I
Not the
remember
full
I was
elliptical
obsessed with the book.
experience. What book?
I wouldn't like the book now, I'll tell you that much, but it was called Redeeming Love. And it was like a religious like book about a relationship that I'm sure if I read it now I'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I read this.
So I feel like you're telling me you had your membership, you went 4 times.
That's probably more than what I went.
And you read this book on an elliptical a couple times.
Yeah.
Do you think you still have and pay for this gym membership?
I'm pretty confident I do.
Sorry, baby.
No, I actually don't know, but I should figure that out.
Yeah, you might want to.
It wasn't like a mainstream gym. It
Check
was like
your auto
one that was like there
payments.
was only one of it. You know what I mean? I don't even know what it was called. It was like the only one of these gyms in New York City. Anyway, no, I don't work out. I don't like working out.
Do you plan to in the new
No,
years?
never.
Uh-huh.
I will not do it. The only type of
Have
working
you ever
out.
owned any sort of exercise equipment, like an at-home, like a yoga mat or
No.
weights?
No. Could you
Or,
imagine me holding a weight?
Thigh master.
No. I think, there was one thing I had
Have
once.
you ever gone on a walk?
There was one thing once that was like a shake it weight. Do you remember those? And they look real naughty. I had one because it was like for YouTube or something. Like, I realized.
And you would use it to work out?
No, I never used it to work out. It was like a funny thing that everyone got because it looks so bad when you use it. But I never used it.
Wanky.
Yeah. But that was the only thing I ever bought, like a workout thing that I ever bought. And it wasn't to work out with. It was like to laugh at. So no, but I don't have any plans on it. I cannot even begin to express. There's no words in the English language that could express how much I despise working out. Like there's not enough words in the English language to tell you how much I hate it and how.
What about the idea? Okay, yeah.
Wait, let me finish this though, because listen, when people say like, oh, but you feel so much better when you work out, when you eat healthy. Don't you just feel so much better?
I do.
Don't you feel so much better?
It's
no,
enormously
I do
impactful
not.
for my mental health. Is to
It's not for mine. I want to
Would you
just
ever
cry every day. I hate it. There's nothing but
participate-
I've never worked out and been like, I feel so much
so
better
mad
now.
at the idea of physical health. It's crazy.
I hate it. I don't like the feeling. I feel sick. I feel like I'm going to pass out. When I eat healthy, I just feel hungry and unsatisfied. I don't feel better. I don't feel healthier. I just feel like unsatisfied and hungry. And when I work out, I just feel sweaty and gross and I have to shower and redo my hair, which is really obnoxious because when you have curly hair, you don't want to have to shower and get it wet. It's the worst thing in the world.
When was the last time you've done like a
Shower?
like a workout? A workout.
Never. What do you mean it was the last time I did a workout? I don't work out.
I don't know. Like, yeah.
I worked out kind of when I was pregnant. I had to go do like physical therapy, but it wasn't like working out. It was like weird little stretches.
I know. And you would half the time cancel.
I know. No, I've never done like a workout. Maybe I have, but I don't remember. You know? Mm-hmm. So no, I don't do that. I hate it. And I hate it.
Number 4 is focus on self-care, which you're like, I hate self-care. How dare I? How dare I care for myself?
Well,
what do you want me to do?
I think
eat good foods and exercise?
Well, I think self-care, it depends on the person, like what that means. Because for me, self-care is like working a lot and like hanging out with my family and like, you know what I mean? Like self-care is not like going to this spa and getting a manicure.
Okay.
It's like
relax.
It's like getting work done, doing a really cool video or writing something. Deep.
You're just so deep.
What are you talking about?
Number 5, read more.
Oh my God.
This was surprising to me.
No one's resolution is to read
18%
more.
of people said their New Year's resolution was to read more.
What?
Ah.
That's crazy.
Like books?
What are you talking about? Books? When was the
Magazines?
When was the last time you read a book?
I've been reading books all the time.
You're such
When was the last time I read a book? I read 2 books in the
What?
hospital to our children. What do you mean? When was the last time I read?
You are a liar. When is the last time you read a book?
Like read a book?
Finished a book, love.
Oh,
Not
look
read
over
a couple
here.
pages.
They can probably see. These are books.
Love.
There's books. I love books. I read books all the time.
You are
Go down to our
lying.
downstairs office. It's filled with books.
You like books for aesthetic. For the
That's a lie, love. That's not nice. Don't call me out like that on this podcast. I read
tell
books.
me. Tell me what's the last book you read, back to front, like front to back, the whole thing.
I read in pieces.
Tell me.
I read pieces. I was reading Shakespeare to them. I read Alice in Wonderland to them. I read Princess Bride.
You did not read those to them. You read a few pages of those to them, which I love that you did that. It was so charming.
No,
and
I read a
adorable.
lot. I was reading them A Tale of Two Cities a couple nights. I like to read. I like the act of reading. And I do like owning books and the way that they look.
You do see, you like the aesthetic of them, but you cannot say that you like to read.
I know, but every book I have, which is a lot in this house, I've read all of them.
Lovey. That isn't
You're
true.
being an asshole right now.
At least I'm an honest asshole.
No, I'm not being honest.
You know what the last book was that I read?
The Secret.
Redeeming Love. On
Harry
that
Potter,
elliptical.
Redeeming Love.
I don't remember actually. Probably Twilight. Have you read the Twilight series?
No, but it sounds like you have.
I have. It's pretty good. I loved it. I also read Hunger Games. I think that was the last book I read for real. It was Hunger Games. I really did read it. It's really good. I'm serious. I never read Harry Potter. I wasn't allowed to. Okay, anyway, moving on. What's the next one?
Learn a new skill. If you had to learn a new skill in the new year, what would it be?
Dance. I want to dance. I'm not a good dancer. I wish I was.
It didn't take you any time. You're like, dance, I want to dance. I know, I
wish
saw
could
you.
Dance.
You were
can't
doing
dance.
Christmas morning yesterday. You were doing like a TikTok dance
Well, those.
by yourself.
No,
Just
you're in
amongst
it.
the rubble. I know. Well, after a while, I walked in and I was like, "What the hell are you doing?" Like it was very involved, and you were so mad at yourself that you did it like 100 times.
Okay, first of all, I did it 10 times.
First of all, you don't read books, and you did this TikTok dance 100 times.
I did not do it 100 times. I did it 10 times, and I couldn't get the last move. It was hard for me.
I know, but you really want you want to dance.
I want to be good at dancing, love. I'm
You
not
are
good
good
at
at.
dancing.
You're a terrific dancer.
And one of the sweetest gifts Eric ever gave me was right before we had Flynn, so we never could do it. But he got me like dance shoes, and we were going to take swing dancing lessons together.
Yeah,
I thought
really
that
wanna
was
do
so
that.
cute.
And we should.
I would love that. What's a skill you'd want to learn? Lovey, are you asleep? I asked you a question.
So, I know at this point in like time, it's really hard for me to respond to things without thinking about them while staring at a wall for like 120 seconds.
Okay, so
They're going to eat the microphone. A skill? I don't know. What am I going to... I'm going to learn... I feel like I just need to learn how to stay alive at this point. Wouldn't be a good skill for me.
yeah, that's true.
Jeez. With all this milk around.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What do you think? What do you think would be a good new skill for me?
I feel like I don't know, you surprise me with like the things you randomly get interested in.
Like electricity? Like learning how to like fix
Electricity
electric
isn't a
stuff in the
skill.
house?
If someone said, what are your
People
special
are
skills?
electricians.
I know, but no one would say electricity.
No, I don't know. Like I feel like it's always like something I'm fixing around here. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's always
I
like
don't
something I'm
see that.
fixing.
I think you're going to get into like car stuff because you're like having fun with your Jeep right now. But I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if it was something really random. Like if you were like started knitting, I'd be like, okay, that makes sense.
I don't think I'm gonna knit.
I don't know, because like you've been like, oh, I signed up for piano classes. I'm gonna start taking piano lessons. You've been like,
I've
oh,
been
I took
playing
a pottery
guitar
class.
more.
I learned how to do pottery. I'm gonna take a paint. Like I feel like you would take any kind of class. You're like very open to learning any skill, which I
Yeah.
like love about you.
Pottery's cool.
But I don't know what you
Pottery
would take.
though, like you need to like have a membership at like a pottery studio. It's like a whole. It's very like it's a community.
Well, we definitely don't have time for any new special skills with baby twins.
Okay, the number 7, make new friends.
I don't have time for that.
I don't even have old friends.
That sounds exhausting.
I have to make new ones? I don't even have the old ones.
The idea of making new friends.
What would it even be like to make a friend?
I could tell you because I made a new friend.
I know, you were very excited to make a friend. Like, it was crazy how excited you were to make a friend. And you were like, oh, she texted me.
You know.
You were like,
I love her. She's so sweet.
Making friends. Get a job or get a new job.
That's a New Year's resolution.
For 14% of people in this survey, yeah.
Okay.
Take up a new hobby, which seems a lot to me like learn a new skill.
Yeah.
And number 10, focus more on my romantic relationship.
That's the last one.
At 12%, what should I do this year? I'm going to focus more on romance.
Only 12% of people care about their relationships. Everyone else is like, yeah, that's fine.
Do you think...
I need a gym membership.
How much do you think you focus on romance?
Romance?
Yeah, with me. In our romantic relationship.
Depends on what you mean by romance.
Well, like, I mean, how much do you think you focus your time in an effort on our romantic relationship?
0. But
this
on
is
our
this is a
relationship,
woman who, like, a few hours ago, farted the crazy. There was 30-second fart and goes, oh, God, you hear that? Did you hear that? Yeah, you hear that? That was, whoa. that's like...
A couple hours ago, you farted and you were like, I think I said, that was sharp.
No, I go, I cut myself. I'm bleeding.
I cut myself. I'm bleeding. So you cannot act like it's just me. You are the one. And then right before we started this podcast, you were like, you said I was putting Flynn to bed and I farted. And it was so bad. I thought I was going to hurt him. So I had to leave the room.
I know, but I left him there in it.
So
I abandoned my boy.
So anyway, a romantic relationship, I don't think we really do too much to...
We don't have one?
No, we don't do anything to like make, like, I don't know. We're not like setting up candlelit dinners for each other, but I don't feel like...
I've done that for you.
I've done it for you too.
Okay.
But I don't know.
I think that's my New Year's resolution then.
Oh, that's sweet. Okay. You know what you did that was really romantic? I think yesterday. I went in to kiss you and you grabbed my chin and lifted it up to kiss me. I thought that was so cute and romantic. See, we have moments. That was romantic. We got to find the romance in this poo-covered life that we're currently living in.
You know what you did the other day I thought was really romantic?
Oh, no. Here it comes.
This
is dripping in sarcasm.
I don't know if you're going to remember this. I really liked it.
It's you took like
a large McDonald's Coca-Cola and threw it against the wall in the bathroom above the bathroom trash can. So now there's just like brown Coca-Cola stained down our bathroom wall above the bathroom trash can. It's still there.
And you know what?
That was so sweet.
You saw it, and instead of like going like, I'm going to wipe this up, you're like, I'm going to take a picture of it. Also, the only thing I can think about right now is McDonald's Coca-Cola now. That sounds so good.
Let's do it.
I'm dead serious. I'm going to order one. Can I order one? Would you drink one?
Call them up. What do? You just call them?
No, you order it on an app. Do you want one?
On DoorDash. I think
I'm really being serious. I'm really going to get one. That sounds so, oh my God, it's past midnight. But I need a Coca-Cola. Do you want one?
I'll take some fries.
Oh my gosh, look at us.
This is the end of our podcast right now.
This is actual romance what we're doing, by the way.
Is this what romance is to you?
If you said to me...
Is this what romance is to you?
Yes. And it is to you too. I know it is deep down inside. If you told me, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you said to me, okay, Colleen, you have two options here. Your future husband is either going to have a candlelit dinner for you, and like there's gonna be rose petals everywhere, and you're gonna like slow dance to some romantic Frank Sinatra song or something, I don't know. Or you'll be in bed together with your newborn twins, pooping their pants every 3 seconds, ordering McDonald's and fries, and talking about who had the weirder, grosser fart that day. Which one do you choose? Which is more romantic?
You. Yeah.
I would say the second option is way more romantic.
Yeah.
By far.
Ugh. That's a good.
That's a good what?
That's a good ending.
All right. I guess we're cutting this one short, guys. We're going to order some McDonald's Cokes and fries. And
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I hope your resolutions all come true.
Do you have a resolution?
Yeah, I'm never like a specific resolution person. I'm always like, I want to like do all these things that I try.
I bet yours is going to be the same thing it always is that you do every couple months, which is like less carbs, less sugar, work out more.
I never like carbs. I'm just trying to like eat healthier and
You work out a little more.
well, I haven't been like done anything like that. Well, because it's a reset for me, like mentally too, to do something like that. I mean, there's chemicals released in your body and brain when you do stuff like that that make you happy.
Except for me.
Yeah, except for you.
You know what makes me happy? It releases chemicals in my brain.
I think McDonald's, Coca-Cola.
Oh man, it's so good.
Why is it better from their machine? What do you think?
I don't know, but it's so good and it's so addicting. It's like I dream about it. Like I need to have one before we go to bed.
It's different from there in a cup than it is. Like a
Also,
can.
if you took a McDonald's cup, Coke, and put it into a different cup, it would taste disgusting. Like it's got to be in their cup and their straw. I'm serious.
Yeah. Science.
Anyway, thanks for listening, everyone. This was a weird one. They might just keep getting weirder. They might keep getting better. We don't know.
This is just a short little check back in. Happy New Year.
Yes, sir.
We're getting used to our new life at home, and
There's no way they heard that. There's no way they heard it.
See it. It was very active. That was like the most exercise. That's your exercise.
Farting.
Is you're like tensing up to fart.
Oh my God. Okay, we're gonna go. We're disgusting.
We gotta tuck these guys in.
They're tucked.
We gotta wrap them up.
I need a Coke. Okay. Good night, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Goodbye.
You can relax. Colleen and Erik have a podcast. The world is scary and we're locked in our home. But now we have big microphones. So you can relax. That's the name of our podcast.